growing up without something can make you feel like you have to spend the rest of your life searching for it, searching for that validation and that affirmation and that applause that you didn't get. Be careful of that. Don't let growing up without one of your parents make you desperate and make you compromise and do things that you regret out of trying to meet your own needs or fill in this gap. Welcome to the Pastor's Lounge. I'm Sherry, your unapologetically Christian therapist. Here we talk about all things mental health and wellness from a biblical perspective. So last week we were delving into single parenting, and the encouragement was for the parents, the guardians out there that are doing this work single-handedly, raising their kids on their own and just giving them a pep talk, right? Because I know it's really heavy, but this week it's all about the kids, it's about us, the ones on the other side, the ones receiving this parenting, this experience, and just the challenges that we face growing up without one of our parents. And I'm going to have a similar format. I have some encouragement that is specifically for us, and I am going to include some of my own little stories in between, but I just hope that right off the top, you are feeling encouraged that we make it, that we can do incredible things, and we don't have to walk with a limp. And we're just going to jump right in because this is such a sensitive, important topic to me, and I just can't wait to share and to be an encouragement and just turn this all around. What the enemy means for evil, God can always turn around for good, right? So that's what I said right at the beginning. Number one, we turn out okay, but it's okay to need some therapy. Growing up without my dad, but having so much support from my mom and the people that God brought into my life at different seasons, I felt really spoiled. I felt extremely cushioned by God, but there were certainly seasons that I had to grapple with some of the things that I didn't have and that I never experienced. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that there are some pain points in not having that additional relationship, or having it and then losing it, or having it be sporadic and inconsistent, which to me is just as bad. So it really does matter that you know that as much as God is capable of redeeming for all the things that you lost, it's okay to admit to the things that are hurtful and getting the right support, and make sure you do. If you are carrying bitterness or resentment or unforgiveness or insecurity or whatever it is as a side effect from not having that other parent there, get the help. Don't let that be a crutch or an excuse to underperform in your life. Get the support. Point number one. Number two, it's okay. Well, we'll get right into it. It's okay to miss what you didn't or don't have, but don't make excuses for yourself. We're not invalids. We children of single parent homes, yes, our dynamic was different. Yes, our circumstances, the way we process and look at the world, yes, absolutely can be very different from that. But we're not less than. And we certainly don't get to use that excuse. Well, my dad wasn't there, so that's why, I'm so needy, or that's why I'm so, angry, or that's why. You don't get to use that as an excuse forever, because there is no excuse. You still are obligated to your gifts to be everything that God has called you to be with intention. But going back to point number one, if you sense that there are some deficits there, then get the help that you need. Engage in the conversations, ask the questions, do the work of overcoming the impediment that it's felt like perhaps it's been, but don't stay the same and don't make excuses out of it. Number three, it's natural to seek what you're missing, but don't let it make you desperate or compromising. And I know this came up even on the parent side of this conversation. Growing up without my dad, there were a couple of pockets, and listen, God was faithful, and He kept me, and He preserved me, and I didn't get in nearly as much trouble as I could have because He was so good, and I had such a vigilant parent. But there were moments where I had some self-esteem challenges. There were some times when I kind of questioned how I came across to guys, and I was awkward and really interested in having their attention, which, some of it comes with just being adolescent or a teen, but there were levels of it that I knew really was hitting on that fatherlessness element there. And it made all the difference. I had a mom who paid attention, and I got in the right conversations at the right time. But for those who didn't have those interventions, remember, it can cause you, growing up without something can make you feel like you have to spend the rest of your life searching for it, searching for that validation and that affirmation and that applause that you didn't get. Be careful of that. Don't let growing up without one of your parents make you desperate and make you compromise and do things that you regret out of trying to meet your own needs or fill in this gap. Lean on the Lord, get the right professional help so that you can walk away feeling confident and valuable despite what you didn't have, even more so because of the ways that God has supplemented in ways that humans can't even compare, right? So lean into that. Don't turn into a life of compromise. Trust God, and once identified, show gratitude for the supplemental family that God provides. I shared in the last video, God gave me other fathers, other siblings, other aunts, uncles, cousins. He filled in so many gaps in my life. So my family, my relatives felt so robust in different educators and different friends and parents of friends and the other marriages that I got to admire and look at and see and glean little bits from. And show gratitude for those people. When you reflect on your life, don't just look at the glass half empty. Think about, okay, well, I didn't have my mom or I didn't have my dad, but this person was really great. I'll give an example. I wasn't really close to my biological grandparents. And I didn't know my dad's people, but when I speak of any type of relative, it's really just my mom's side. That's the only side that I have. But I wasn't especially close emotionally to my maternal grandparents. And God gave me other grandparents. One who is still around, and I lean on her so much, and I love and appreciate her. God knows how to fill in those gaps if we choose to see those people in that way and honor them for the roles that they're filling, even if they don't even realize it. When you do take the time to consider who those individuals might be, make sure they know that you're grateful for them, and make sure God knows that you're grateful that He took the time to make sure. I know that person wasn't going to stick around, but I made sure these couple of people were there to give you what you were missing. Pay attention to those individuals because they're there. They're present, whether you realize it or not. It's okay to ask why and get the whole story for the purpose of learning and growing. Your reasons for asking the parent that's there, the family member that's available, about how you ended up in the situation that you were in. You want to use that Q&A time. You want to use that curiosity for good. It's not to bash your parents. It's not to judge them and break them down for their choices or the things that happened to them and add insult to injury. Do it to glean and to learn so you grow from this circumstance. You learn from those mistakes so you don't repeat them. And of course, experience that healing and that closure for yourself for the areas of grief that are attached to that loss. But use that information for healing, not for adding to wounds, because there's a difference there. And it matters that your motives are pure in your questions. Determined to break the cycle. So that kind of lends right to the last point, right? Glean what was good, throw out what was based on an unhealthy past. So when you're talking to your parent or you're asking the questions and you just want to fill in those gaps, determined to break the cycle. Don't look at that information as, well, my mom ended up, with a kid really young, so I guess I have to, or, this is my dad left, so I'm going to be the type of father that doesn't stick around. No. Break the cycle. Learn and then take the time to heal so that you are the difference maker. Be the difference maker. I was determined to be the one that got married, then had kids, do it God's way, lean on God's wisdom, and change the course of history, the trajectory for my family. And God honored that decision. Break the cycle and learn. Don't perpetuate the same mistakes, and don't excuse it for yourself, because that doesn't get you anywhere. Show your parent grace. When they know better, they do better. And when you get old enough and you have the means, bless them. This is a hard one, I know, for some people, because perhaps your parent or the parent that's around, maybe they haven't changed. Maybe there's some things that are still unhealed in them that unfortunately you have to kind of keep some healthy distance, perhaps. But remember, they're human too. They're human now, and they were human then when they were making the decisions they were making, or maybe they weren't even decisions, and these are just things that happened to them, and these are the results, and they were doing the best with what they had and what they knew. Show them grace. That doesn't mean that you have to permit them to be hurtful to you, because a couple videos back, we talked about toxic relatives and family, and you got to draw boundaries to protect your well-being. You do it, right? But keep your heart pure, especially if you're a believer. Keep your heart pure. Don't let bitterness and resentment build up. And if you feel it building up, you already know, sit with the Lord, sit with a therapist, do the work, release them. But if they've been good to you, if they've been good parents, they've done their best. Not perfect, but they've done their best. As you have the means, as you get older, you're working, you have the capacity, bless them. Honor them. Be good to them. Take them for lunch, say thank you. I know it was hard raising me by yourself, but I appreciate it. It wasn't a perfect childhood, but I'm here and I'm making it now. Thank you. Show them grace and show them gratitude. Pursue Jesus for yourself. No such thing as vicarious salvation. We can't lean on our parents, say, well, my mom went to church or my grandma or whatever, and they brought me, and so therefore I'm kind of in the vicinity of faith, and so it's kind of rubbed off on me, so I don't have to pursue the Lord for myself. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want to have your own walk with God, especially being the product of a single parent home, all the vulnerabilities and challenges that does come with. You want to make sure that you are fortified in your spirit and you're not borrowing from somebody else's faith. As much as my mom raised me in the things of God and had her own walk with the Lord, she was clear from a young age. She told me, Sherry, you pursue Jesus for yourself. If I walk away from the Lord, you make sure you know where you stand with him and you're not just following him because I am. You have your own relationship with Jesus that is real and organic, and it's not dependent on what I do. That was such a necessary distinction for me to make, that my faith was mine, it wasn't my mother's. So make sure you're pursuing the Lord for yourself, for your healing, for your guidance, for your direction. Look for ways that God can and will use your story. It's so easy to look at the glass half empty when you grew up with what feels like only half a glass, right? Just half the parenting team. But God can use your story. This has come up in other videos. God doesn't waste pain. If you're going to go through something challenging, it's on purpose. It's with other people in mind. I didn't know that when my mother said, just honored the Lord and close the door, did not have my father around in my life. He chose not to be, but she made sure, fine, you're done, then we don't have to involve you at all. And she completely focused on raising me herself. She did not know that it would inspire a book that she wrote. She didn't know that it was going to lead to me sitting here, having these conversations, doing this work. Neither one of us were thinking about what the end result was going to be. We just knew we had to honor God. She just knew she had to serve the Lord and raise me for him. But this was not on either of our radars. You have no idea how God can use something that was so painful to you to heal someone else. So look for the ways that God can use what you've went through for you to inspire somebody else, that you can be successful no matter what you've gone through when God is with you. And finally, and really most significantly, forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive the mom, the dad that left, that was harsh, that wasn't emotionally present, that did the best they could with what they knew. And even if, quite frankly, that wasn't enough, we can admit it. We can grieve what wasn't there and what wasn't sufficient, but you've got to forgive them. If you hold it against them forever, it only hurts you. So I encourage you, let it go. Acknowledge it. Do the healing work. There's a whole process. I do a lot of forgiveness work with clients. Oh my goodness. Releasing parents and grandparents that have even long since passed away. But do the work and then release them, because unforgiveness makes your world so small and you don't want that. So, you've heard all the points. I pray that this releases you and sets you free and allows you to look at yourself like a conqueror and not a victim of your circumstances. God can use your imperfect life and your imperfect circumstances to bring about some beautiful results and make you an immeasurable blessing to your sphere of influence. Choose to see yourself as someone that God has blessed and honored and kept and is going to use for his glory, because that's how you rob the enemy of the satisfaction of making your story a tragedy, because you've decided it's going to be a victory. And that's the best result. That's the best revenge against the bitterness and the anger of the parent that left and wanting to prove a point and get back at them. Don't get back at them. No need to get even. Just be successful God's way. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying and it's so worth it. So keep this in mind. Simmer on these points. Watch this again if you need to. And I know that it's going to keep you in a state of freedom and walking out a robust, full, 100% purpose in the Lord. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share as you feel led to. And I pray that you prosper and you are in good health, even and especially as your soul prospers.